Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here. Spoils from vacation in the form of Icarus Brewing. This is their Life Unraveled, double barrel aged English Barleywine style ale, coming to 12.5%. Yeah, I was down on the shore with the Micahs and the wife. We set out to on day two. I wanted to eat myself silly on some seafood, so I figured I'd pop over to Icarus, 12 minutes away from where we were staying, and had a couple beers and brought some back. I didn't bring barley wine for seafood. I brought nice kind of really. I brought some home to review it. It was too tasty. I drank them all. It was like a toasted lager kind of thing. Loved it. Worked great for dinner. But I saw this sucker. English barley wine, double barrel aged. Gotta do it. Gotta have it. Story time on the side here. Oh, American barley wine. Sorry, it says on the side, not English. American barley wine ale crafted with Maris Honor barley and a hint of rye, boldly hopped with Galena and Chinook, aged for 15 months in a blend of ASW twin fiddle toasted barrels, twin fiddler, sorry, toasted barrels before aging an additional 7 months in Laird's apple brandy. I didn't read that part at the brewery. I'm glad I got it because apple brandy barrels, my jam. That's pretty much it. It has like a scroll being unraveled with their logos. I'm not gonna sit here and talk about it being the best label in the history of mankind, but it says barley wine and double barrel on it, so I'm here for it. Where did all my bottle openers go? I need a proper one because we got wax. We got the wax. Icarus. It's been so long since I've been to the brewery. Interviewed Jason, the owner at Icarus, for a podcast when I used to do that kind of thing. And since then, they've moved from a decent sized location to this place is absolutely fantastically large and really nice. They had a crazy amount of taps. I went on a threat of a tropical storm Wednesday early afternoon, so the place is there's actually it was you know what, there's like four families in there and a couple of people at the bar, so I should say it wasn't busy. It's just having such a monstrous place like that. You always look like you're a little bit empty, but it was so nice in there. I had a couple lagers. I had what else did I have? I think I had one hazy, maybe. Yeah, I had their shrinking crayons, which is like their Louis BV haze. So yeah, let's dive in, sucker. I mean, it looks the part of the barley wine. You're talking about a barrel aged American barley wine. Could be turning into an English barley wine at this point, but definitely looks the part. I mean, look at that sucker. I can't express this enough. Barley wine has to look, and I know people laugh when I say it, but it has to look like murky doo-doo water. It has to be hazy. That to me is a sign of a great barley wine because I think a lot of times, and I think the same goes with hazy IPA, wheat beer, all those hazy beverages, the hazy beers and ales and lagers. That haze carries particulate flavor, and I think there can be a lot of flavor in a drink, but if it doesn't wash on your palate right, you don't sense it. Now, lagers can do that, but lagers have that crispy thing going for it, so there's a bit of a trade-off. But it has this. This has that rich haziness to it. Brown is the perfect kind of brown, like that, almost like sugar daddy kind of browniness to it. It had a decent head on it. I talked too much. It's dissipated away already. Give it another whirl. Let's give it another nose. Yeah. It has all the bits and pieces of what you want from a really nice, well done barley wine. Sure, you're getting those Americanized vibes from it because you are getting like a bit of spice, a bit of tannicness, a bit of kind of like a little bit of kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Like herbal, tannic tea like kind of quality to it. Again, you can get those from English ones, but I think you're getting not the ghosts of hops past on this sucker because I don't know if there's a date on here from when it was actually bottled. But those Chinook kind of bigger hops, those kind of things. What was it? Chinook and what else was in there? Galena, I believe. Yeah, and some rye. That probably brings a bit of spiciness to it too. Have kind of tempered a little bit, sitting in those barrels, sitting in those two different barrels, and then sitting in the bottles. But it has this nice, rich. Again, I'll go back to the sugar daddy kind of vibe to it. The way that aromatics come off is very much that kind of just morphing into the sugar daddy kind of caramel, molasses kind of menage a trois. I was going to say melange. but nausea schwa came out of my face, that you get from like the sugar daddy candy. But then you had that spiciness, probably a combination of the hops and that kind of rye, and a big, nice, rich kind of spirit character. It's more bourbon for me than apple brandy barrel. I got a big pop of caramel on that one, on that nose, but I'm just curious. There's a lot going on with the spirit, and probably the most exciting part of it is it smells. If you watch my reviews, this is the thing I talk about a lot. Very cohesive, like it's all melded together. So only one way to find out. Cheers. Okay, we're so close, so close. First things first. That'd be a hot beer. Hot beer. Hair and fire stuff. Rocket fuel. Maybe we'll stop short of rocket fuel, hair and fire, but it's hot. It's hot. I think there's going to be a theme here. 100% get that apple brandy in the taste. You get that bourbon, but that apple brandy comes out of nowhere, right to the kisser. And then on the barrel side of things, outside of the spirit, a decent amount of dryness here. I think that's a combination of a couple of things: hops, rye, and I think there's a decent oak tan in here. There's a nice kind of barrel charry rubbiness to it, not huge over the top. There's coconut in there and there's vanilla in there, so you're getting a lot from both the spirit and the barrel portion of the show. Very, very, very cool. Nice little treacly chocolate thing going on there. On the actual beer side of things, again, hoppiness is present, pretty aggressive, but for how sweet this beer is, it's kind of appropriate, aggressive level, and just has this rich Maris Otter core to it. When you take those coconuts and vanillas and treacliness and all those things that you get from the spirit and the barrel itself, and then marry it with that Maris Otter, it's just a symphony of richness. It's this nice kind of, again, sugar daddy is the name of the game here, sugar daddiness to the way the malt kind of comes off in this beer. All that being said, this has all the flavor points that I love in a barley wine. Bittering might be a little bit too aggressive. I'm okay with it. Why? One, it's an English barley wine, so I expected it. Two, I think this beer needs a year. About a year, give or take. A year or two. And I think it more so than what I prefer. I think because all the flavors here are there, but they are a little bit separated. There's a little peak and valley in between each flavor. So it's cohesive but not completely combined into one entity at this point. But you can tell, you can sense all the telltale markers of what can make this beer great if it ages the way I or rather, I should say, hope it ages into. That is something amazing. Because I think that spiciness from the rye, the bittering from the hop, spicing from hop, they're going to stay slightly tempered. I think all the other pieces become a bit more cohesive and kind of hash out. That sugar daddy now is like kind of like if you're eating a sugar daddy and you pull it out of your mouth, and then that flavor you have about 30 seconds to a minute. That's the way the sugar daddy comes off. Not like the sugar daddy's in your mouth, just have that kind of resonance, kind of aftertaste kind of thing, which is still quite nice. I want that fullness, and I think you can get that with some time. Same thing, barrel, spirit, everything. I think that heat comes down on the barrel. I think the spirits meld together into some crazy conglomeration, is that even a word, of deliciousness, in with those bits and pieces from the barrel that work really well. Marry with those malt portion of the show, and everything just becomes a home run hitter. Sure, can it go sideways? Absolutely. More moving parts, the more things can go sideways. If you tell me this was bottled a couple weeks ago, I'd be a little bit more hesitant to say it's going to age gracefully. If you tell me this was bottled several months ago, I'd be like, it's going to be fine because it shows zero hint of any negativity. I think it's going to age great. And honestly, I really want to get another bottle of it so I can see how it ages in time. Now, let's talk about it in its present tense instead of just talking about what we think it might be in the future. A bit hop. Once you get 4 or 5 sips in, it settles down. You have that nice sugar daddy malt base, but like I said, it's a little bit not watered down, but not as volumetric as you'd like it to be. There's a decent spiciness and dryness here. I marry them together because they kind of carry each other. From that rye, from those hops, and from the oak tannins here, I think it works quite nice and very sweet beer like this. It makes this beer not really that sweet at all, even though it is. And then all the interlocking parts, from the flavor, from the spirits, and all those kind of things. Everything's there, from the malt, the barrel, to the spirits. You're getting that coconut, you're getting that vanilla, you're getting that apple brandy, you're getting that bourbon barrel, you're getting that maris otter. It just, for me, it just needs a little bit more time. You ever play one of those video games where you got to match something up, like a puzzle or a key, and it has to match, or even like what is that, Google Authenticator? You got to rotate the puzzle to. It just gets to the point where you marry the image with the empty slot kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about. This is like right, like it's just got to be rotated a degree or two, and then it's gonna lock in. That's my 2 cents, my amateur 2 cents, and a very fun beer. I'm glad I picked it up. As far as the beer itself and what I talk about things, and in the end, is it one of the better American barley wines I've had? I was like, yeah, Mount Rushmore's has it almost defaults because I haven't had that many. So let's talk about it in a grander scheme of things. Now, is it Mount Rushmore status as a whole over the past few years? On the outside looking in, but worthy, and I say it could definitely be in a year or two. Valued availability, as far as I know, brewery only. I know Icarus distributes a lot, but I have not seen any of their bigger beer in bottles by me. But then again, I was right down by the brewery, so who knows? And what did I pay? I want to say I paid 16 to 18 bucks. And leave you with, if you like what we like this beer, if you like American and or English barley wine, I think with some time this could be an absolute stellar beer. But I would implore you now, if you really enjoy barley wine, pick up two, if not more. Drink one now, because it's always fun to have that reference when you dive into it later. A lot of times I do these aged beers. I never had the earlier version, and it's kind of a bummer because I really want to know how the beer has changed. Well, I know where its data set starts, if you will. So it'll be cool to get another one of these and crack it in a year or two and see where she lands. I'll do my best to do that for y'all. So there you go. Reviewing the books. Hopefully you enjoyed. Massive beers, you want to check me out in the social media stuff, Beer Massive podcast and stuff. Icarus Brewing. Have you been to the brewery? Have you been to their old one, their new one? Have you had their beers? Have you had, what's your favorite Icarus beer? Have you had this beer? Let's talk about it down below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying local beer right now. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers, y'all.